sudden you have to do that producer agreement. And meanwhile, they're fought, how many placements? How many placements do you have before? And now we're able to, at a point where, depending on the record, some labels will be like, sorry, take it all down. Well, he can't, he's already done a deal. In those instances, you say, look, these will disclose these placements. Moving forward, I won't do anything else with this track. But, you know, so it's become kind of the Wild West. But I think Travis is right. If you're a hot producer and you're creating something, that's what you got to sell, and you got to put it out there. You got to be smart about it. But if you don't put it, if you're too precious, nothing's going to happen for you.
Yeah, you have to. Creatives have to be together. You know, like I can only do so much as a publisher. Maybe my producer doesn't know the management for Drake or somebody like that. I can link them or link them to an A&R that works directly with them, whatever. But then you as a producer and as a writer like that, it's up to you to also build that relationship. You know, like you have a great relationship with Shaggy or Beanie and they enjoy working with you and they feel your music and you deal with them directly. To me, that's the greatest way to, if you're a producer, that's the relationship you need to have.
I
Like
think
it's
it's
crucial.
also organizing everything, because for us, like being a physical distributor, a lot of the challenges we're having with our local artists is we say, okay, we have this opportunity, sure, we want to get the music on the platform, but then they don't even know that they own the song or don't own the song. They don't have their music in proper format or in a tangible form that we need. They don't have the copyright registration, and then they're going to say, boy, I did sell a box of money out of my hand. It's not us boxing no money. You also have to take steps to ensure that your product, your work is in a form and ready to put it out there and to sell it and to make a return on it. So I think we just all need to work together to make that happen as well.
And I'm suggesting a deep music academy for would-be and existing artists because there's a lot to learn and we have to be open to sharing that information. Just to clarify the point you had made about registering a title for your real estate, what is the cost to do it through the voluntary mechanism in Jamaica?
I think it's a very nominal
Yeah, there's actually a fee. I think you can register up to about 10 songs, if I'm not mistaken, for about $4,000. So it's fairly nominal, and that's at JIPO. So if you write a song, or you build a beat, or you're the owner of the actual master, you can actually go and register each of those. So the producer can go and register as the owner of the recording. The beat maker can go and do similar, and the writer likewise, the songwriter likewise.
Now let's talk money. When a song busts, so you can give me ballpark figures, and I have done what I needed to do, and including my copyright, everything is registered, what kind of money can I look forward to? Because the artist performing gets thousands of dollars for 5 minutes. What can I look for as a writer, ballpark?
As a songwriter in the U.S., when you're, you know, let's start first with radio play. Okay, when you're a co-writer on a record that charts maybe like in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 singles charts or the R&B and hip hop chart, it's pretty substantial depending on the percentage of the song you control. And when a song gets within the top 10 on the Billboard charts, you get bonuses as well on top of what you would be getting paid. So BMI will give you a bonus, and you'll see, like, for instance, one of my writers co-wrote the Drake single "Non-Stop." Well, our first BMI check that we got, you see like the bonuses across the board on every line where there were, you know, where the record was streamed and played on the radio. So you could, you know, that's only, remember, that's only one income stream.
Yeah.
That's only one income stream of publishing. Yeah. Then you have the streaming, right? And that is really very up in the air right now. That is something that within the US alone, organizations like the Recording Academy, the National Music Publishers Association are banding together to work together to get better rates for the streams, you know, because this technology unfortunately is not covered in our copyright law. And Spotify and Pandora and Amazon are paying way below market rates on these streams. I find it is what it is. And people say, why is that? And it's because they're not really, no one's putting a gun to their head and saying you need to pay the actual rate of what you know the copyright law says. So that's a real crazy thing. In fact, last year in the States, this law got passed, the Music Modernization Act, the MMA, And it's creating a mechanical license collective where it's gonna streamline and make it easier for songwriters and publishers to register songs for digital income, right? But it also gave a rate increase of like 44%.
Yeah.
Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, they're appealing that rate increase. And I don't think they discussed that the other day. They're appealing that increase. They want to get that 44% that's supposed to go to writers and publishers, they want to get it reduced back down. The number is not, I'm not sure of the number as of yet, but it's you know, from what I know, it would be a number that would be detrimental to us because they want to reduce that rate retroactively, meaning anything they paid thus far, they're going to be able to debit all of our accounts across the board.
And it's so important to ensure that these rates increase as consumption via these platforms increase, as people are moving from the premium to the subscription base. How come the songwriters don't see any parity there? Because the only other way you were getting paid if there was a mechanical royalty is 0.91 cents. But nobody's buying physical singles anymore. Nobody's downloading anymore. So it's so important that this streaming revenue.
In the last couple of years, the permanent digital download numbers are just down. You know, that's a wrap. CDs and vinyl, as I discussed, they're almost non-existent. And if there is vinyl, it's like a niche market, which means our rates should go up, and everyone should be getting paid.
Surviving at Jamaica Music Conference in Kingston, Jamaica, 2020, 7th anniversary.
But at the same time, for everyone
Securing the bag,
artist that
making the
steps
money
out, like
from
year
music
after
publishing
year,
right here.
the fact is
It's an
only
interesting
a small
panel
percentage of
discussion,
them are gonna
which is
become
giving a
stars
bird's
or
eye
have hit
view.
songs. And that's a reality.
And, you know,
So for
a
the
clear
vast
area
majority of others who
in
have
the
released
business of
recordings,
music
you really want to look at
and
the earnings
reading
that are
the
possible,
creative
more
industries in
in the
Jamaica.
context of it
Amir
being a sort of
Richardson.
like pension.
Yeah.
So it's like pennies adding up.
Yeah.
And you know, over time as your catalog grows, then you start to see royalties in different starts to improve as the catalog grows and you get songs. Now, there are actually colleague here mentioned
Value
some
from
numbers.
value, seeking
In the US,
networking in the
and
musical
so
industry,
was a
creative
clarification
industries. It's about time. We
In
need
the
to come of
US,
age, and I think we are.
producers
We're going to take you back
and
to
artists, they do
some of
not
the great
earn a single
panelists
dollar
that's really
or
bringing
dime
great points
from
across
from
about this
terrestrial
industry.
radio.
Now we need to improve, you know,
So,
the whole
right,
business
so
of music,
some
not just in
exchanges
Jamaica,
is a body in the
but
US
in the
and
Caribbean.
they're similar to jams. They collect for the rights holder and the artists, the actual vocals.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, cool. Alright, so Sound Exchange is a collective society, it's a performance rights organization. So just like you have the BMI, BMI is for the writers, Sound Exchange is for the artists and also for the producers. Yeah?
And the master rights.
Right, sorry.
And that
when I say
royalty-
producers,
record
I'm talking about master rights.
And that's not a publishing royalty, that's called a sound recording royalty.
Sound recording royalties. Yes.
Absolutely. That's a sound recording that is not a publishing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, once you know, let us deal with the states. It is, it
That
can be.
is, I'm sure it should.
It can be.
They're
It can
collecting
be.
billions.
It can be. Yeah. But just to speak to that though, Shaggy, because it can be substantial money. But like I said, for the majority of persons who probably get this a few expenses, it doesn't really add up like that. But Sound Exchange, they collect from the digital performance, right? Which means that the streaming and also satellite radio. Now, once you go satellite, that's where the money is made. So you hit Sirius XM, you hit a playlist on Sirius XM, you're gonna look nice. And I can speak to that. So in 1 year, for instance, an artist, a song that hits 1 or 2 playlists or several playlists on Sirius XM and does fairly well, a producer can make $1 million Jamaican from it, just by being on a few playlists on Sirius XM. And that's just one source. But how many actually make playlists on Sirius XM?
Yeah.
Not a lot. And so
Which
you're
is the
then left
argument,
with...
which is the argument we didn't make earlier when I said it was being that the Cali Roots things that was being swapped out for Jamaica. I remember I said that earlier. So it's not a play thing where I said, man, to make the type of music and go over the work. When you say go to Sirius XM, for doing the interview, reach early, because at Sirius, when you go to Sirius, they have to book the studio. If they book this is one big studio in there, and each person, if they book a reggae artist to come at 3 o'clock, right? And they have the studio for that 3 o'clock, and him come at 4, him just lose the spot.
Yeah.
Right? And but the more reggae artists that don't support, then they're gonna move. I tell you one thing, the Cali Rose boy, them showing up on time though.
Yeah.
Sorry my brother, continue.
No man, it's all good.
We're ready for you now.
It's all good. But then if you're not so fortunate to be on those playlists, then the statement typically is gonna reflect just the small sums, the sense that we've been talking about. So you'll see royalties coming from the Pandoras, the Google Music, and some other streaming services. And those are small amounts, and it doesn't quite add up to significant sums unless it's a pretty big catalog or hit songs, you know. But the point is, a hit song, or you're fortunate to hit digital platforms, satellite radio, you can do it.
So Evan, there's a rumor that was circulating that some Jamaican artists have millions of dollars just floating around in the European market for royalties and copyright and all the things that they should be earning from their passive income, we can call it that, and they have not been able to collect it. What stands in the way of an artist being able to get the check that is there?
All right, one of the first things is that there are many artists, surprisingly, that are not signed on to collecting societies, still. And so you'll find that they had a really good career, but somehow they didn't learn, nobody told them, or they didn't go and find out for themselves. And so as artists, as musicians, they have what is called an equitable remuneration right. So you do not have to, meaning that as soon as the song is played, for instance, money is earned for you, and it's sitting there at some collecting society as performers. And if you do not register with the collecting society, and that is paid over to you, after a while, that money basically gets paid out to the overall pool that are already registered with the society.
And what that means, that overall pool are the handful of successful artists, because it's going to be prorated. So you're just handing all your money over to the ones who are the hitmen.
Some countries hold it. UK holds the money for about 6 years. Germany used to hold for about 8 years, but they have now reduced to about 3 years, right? And so what really is required is that artists, you sign up to jams, we can collect the money for you globally, whether it is UK, France, you name it, as artists or even as musicians, we can bring that money home for you. And so that is key, just becoming part of that global system, ecosystem that handles remuneration of the rights.
On the publishing end, for the publishing income that's international, for us, since we're based in the U.S., outside of the U.S., we work with other publishing companies in overseas that handle all the collections of what we do in North America and their territories. So it's territory by territory, and that's how we're able to collect publishing income there. But yes, it's very crucial to get your songs registered immediately overseas like that, or anywhere, because there is a time frame, and eventually that money will be distributed to the rest of the pool if you're not claiming it.
All right, I remember saying no starving artists, so don't stand in the way of additional streams of
Yes,
income.
and Sound Exchange, soundexchange.com. Just go to soundexchange.com right there. It's electronically, you can register and get set up, it's no problem.
Could you just explain to everybody the difference between a co-pub, right, and an admin deal? A co-pub deal compared to an admin deal.
Right. By definition, if as we said before, one of the first things I said is you can't publish a song until it's written, right? So the writer, the minute you've written the song, congratulations, you're your own publisher. So when you register the song with BMI, PRO, or ASCAP, or JCAM, right? You are going to be the publisher and the writer. At some point, you may say, this is too much for me, I want to make sure I'm collecting all my pennies all around the world. So what you do is, at that point, you'll either do an administration deal, where you're retaining all of your copyright ownership, right? But you're ceding some limited control to someone who is a publishing administrator.
What control is that? That control is the publisher share.
Come again?
What part of that?
Well,
is that
that's
the
what I was gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, as a typical administration deal, since you're retaining all of your ownership of the copyright, you will see on a typical admin deal, if- administrator, a percentage of income out of only 50% of the dollar that's coming in.
That would be the publisher share, right? 50% of the
Only,
publisher.
only the publisher share. The writer's share of income,
Would be yours.
particularly with performance from your BMI, your ASCAP, will go directly to you. But you will give them a piece on the performance of only the publisher's share of income. Typically, that will be on an 80-20 split of 100%. On a publishing deal, that may be 60-40, it could be 70-30, but it's only out of 50% of the public performance money that's being earned from radio play and the other, exploitation. All right, on the publishing side of things, you're giving up 50% of the copyright, and then you're only going to retain as the writer the other 50%. And because the publisher is writing you a big check in return, they're going to get not only 50% of the ownership of your work, of what the percentage of the song you have, they will also get a larger chunk of the income that you're giving up. Typically 25% on mechanical income, 50% of the publisher's share of public performance income, and on synchronization, Travis, your publisher, tell me.
Every deal is different, 70-20, 70-30, 60-40.
And that can be based typically
It's based on negotiation.
Right, who brought the opportunity to you, right?
And just so you make it clear, just to make it clear to everyone, right? Just to make it clear to everyone, it is typical, and correct me if I'm wrong. If you're going to do a publishing deal, it is best to do the only time you would want to do a co-op deal is unless you need money up front.
Right.
If you're not getting life-changing money, don't do the co-op. Unless you're getting life-changing money.
That money will come through to you on
Yes.
an admin side if you're patient. Now, there are scenarios where it may make sense, you know. I will say that now you see a movement with publishing deals for an entire catalog here. Not single songs, but an entire catalog, where we go into a deal. If I represent a writer or publisher, I'm gonna say, these existing songs out. You're not getting those songs. I'm gonna go to Al Butter, I'll go to an administrator, I'll keep the ownership, and I'll pay out less money. Moving forward, I'm gonna do a co-pub deal. I'll give you this one song and anything I write, but I'm not gonna give you anything beyond 3 years. You take 3 years, or at the end of the 3 years, I'll pay you back whatever you paid me, plus maybe 5%, 10%, and then I go on my way. The old publishing deals were, you would get in a deal, they pay you money, you'd have to write the equivalent of 5 songs, 6 songs, and it'd be crazy. You'd be recouped, and you're still stuck in a deal where they are owning all of your new compositions. And the last thing I'll say is with publishing deals, unlike taking a loan in the bank, you could be in a situation for your catalog where you have one record, you are fully recouped, you paid the publisher back, they're making their margin, as we just went through, whether it's 50% of performance, whether it's 25% of mechanicals, whether it's 30% of synchronization. They made this money first, then they paid all the money back on your remaining percentage, and guess what? They still own everything. If you pay back a loan to the bank would still own your house under the co-pub system.
Which is why you would want to ask your lawyer too, if you were going to entertain a co-pub deal, to push to get a reversion in your rights, if the publisher is open to do it. But a reversion basically sets a certain amount of years, and then the rights will revert back to the writer.
Streaming, and you're saying the problem that has happened. Remember, there was download first, there was ringtone, right? It was what happened is this: when you have ringtone, by the time they get around to legislations and Congress and all that, the technology changed to download. By the time they go to legislation again and go through, then the technology changed to streaming. Now they're trying to catch up. So just so you know, if you go Google it and look at it, Sony's quarterly earnings was 1.4 billion. Just the first quarter alone. understand the amount of money being made from streaming that is not reaching the artists nor the creators. This is dangerous. So Spotify come and say that this and that and learn and do the things here.
The other thing that's tricky with it, Shaggy, you know, like in the U.S., we have the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA, and they certify records in the United States to go gold or platinum, selling 1 million, you know, selling 500,000, right? I think now the number is one stream of a song, 1,500 times is equivalent to like one single sale. And then 15,000 streams is equivalent to one full album sale. Look at how crazy that is. Now, if you co-wrote it, it's not like somebody went and bought the CD and everyone's getting paid. You know, if I was a producer of you know, God's Plan for Drake, that thing streamed like 1 billion streams and crazy numbers before the album even dropped, so that the whole album itself was certified platinum based on, I mean, he had other hits off of that album, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what can happen. An album can get certified gold, all from the streaming of one huge, huge hit single. And then the rest of the statements for the writers and publishers are not going to look like that. You know, so it's crazy.
Yeah, just standing outside the Jamaica Music Conference, 7th edition. Yeah, it's been an excellent, I must say, panel discussion so far. I've learned a lot. I mean, and the vibe and the energy of all of the panelists, including, some of the most famous faces in our music, has brought clarity to a lot of young artists. And for those who've been in this business and haven't really been making the best of the experience, of being, artists, carrying whatever message of love or whatever we do in Jamaica that the world seems to love so much, It's good to see that, there is a coming together of the industry in such a manner that is befitting of the quality of intellect, information, experience, and just genuine human desire to share in the human experience, So it has been my pleasure to basically roll through today and bring to you some of these most wonderful experiences. It brings value to the experience of being an artist. So we continue roving through, bring you a couple of videos and see, just how everything works out, you know what I mean? Right here in the middle of the city. It's kind of noisy, but the vibe is great. Yeah, so we just want to give thanks again, for the experience, as we say, doing this. It's been like one of the most wonderful things of the start of this year, the music and the quality of, getting together and seeing value, musical experience. So until next time,
Really need a shot.
Manchester.